As I indicated earlier, the management group had come to the conclusion that we needed a new facility if we were going to pursue the Abbott opportunity that we had earned by rigging up a temporary clean room in our plant, or even with the clean room that we later built around 2 machines. We had not decided on all the details of the new building. We decided to get the board of directors together, and we invited Bill DeBrule, who had become the second largest shareholder in Midstate with his purchase of Don Owen's stock. We decided to invite him to the meeting. We held the meeting on a Sunday night at the office in Seagrove. I had a very productive discussion. I think the conclusion was that the management group was correct in saying that we needed to move to a new facility. Bill endorsed that idea. In fact, he agreed that if need be, that he would be willing to finance the building and rent it back to us. That was ultimately what we decided to do. As we worked our way into planning, we decided that a 20,000 square foot manufacturing area should be adequate, and that we would need an additional 3,000 square feet for office space. That was taking into account the fact that our staff was expanding. We began planning the space, and our conclusion was that clean room area should be about 5,000 square feet, quarter of the 20% of the area inside the manufacturing area in the new facility. Buford Green had become involved with Midstate. He and I had become closer friends and sometimes business partners. He made contact with David King, who, along with Ivy Luck, owned the property where the Midstate facilities were ultimately built, adjacent to Morris's store across the highway from Oak Grove Drive. Buford was able to purchase land from DeWitt. We moved forward with working with Myrick to get plans developed for the building. It did not take too long to get the core building in place, and then we faced the issue of building a clean room. We had been involved with whatever experts or vendors we could locate, identify, and had come up with some basic plans that we thought would be very workable. Buford volunteered to work with me, his son Dwayne and my son Dean, to build the clean room in the evenings. We also, while we were at it, framed in and paneled all of the office areas, got it ready for the move. All this is taking place early months of 1976 into the early summer. Our target was to have the new facility ready by June of 1976, and we did hit that target. The clean room turned out to be pretty simple. We built the frame for it in a typical stick method with lumber and plywood, then put a suspended ceiling in it. We covered the wall and the floors, the floor and the walls, with a vinyl sheet that a firm in Greensboro came in and installed. It included all of the seams being sealed using a process that they had developed. One of the big items was to work out the air conditioning and air filtering system. Gordon Lowry, who sold some of that type of equipment, helped us with that, and we designed an air conditioning system that had very special filters installed in the ceiling of the clean room. They were special filters that would take any particles, any very minute particles out of the air. We also had the capability of controlling humidity level in the clean room, because that was an issue with running cold molds in an atmosphere that had a lot of humidity in it. Our target was to be able to maintain 50% relative humidity inside the clean room. We designed a platform that was elevated above the machines with a balcony type situation that extended over the machines in order to have the raw material feeding from outside the clean room. We also had exit for conveyors to travel through, and had the grinders for sprues and any rejected parts. Those being ground in an alleyway adjacent to the clean room at ground level. Some of the things that we did not totally satisfy what we had intended, and as we moved forward, we refined the design of the clean room. Saying all of that, we had the opportunity to move the machines sometime probably in May of 1976, and one of the things that we did as we moved machines out of the old plant, we took the opportunity while they were on a trailer and backed up to the back of the new facility, ready to be unloaded. We took the opportunity to pressure wash them. Pressure washers were just coming into vogue at that time, but we were fortunate enough to buy one that actually used hot water. It had a kerosene burner that heat the water and then a pump to generate the pressure, and it did a wonderful job of cleaning the machines. And before we went into the clean room with any of the machines, they had been cleaned. Now, part of the planning was to have the custom machines in the back portion, the back 50% of the 20,000 square foot manufacturing area. And then that left us a quarter of the building on the north side, northeast corner of the building would be available for material storage, parts storage, and auxiliary operations that we might have. The access into the clean room, I might describe that, we had dressing rooms for all the people to go through an airlock type situation in order to get properly gowned to go into the clean room. The whole idea was to keep the clean room as free of any particulate as we possibly could, because the particulate in the air in the molding facility was what caused problems in the medical components that we were molding. We did everything we could to reduce that. We also had thought ahead and had the floor and walls in such condition that we could go in maybe once every 6 weeks, 8 weeks, some schedule, and sort of scrub the place down, mop it, and clean the floors, and get rid of any collections of dust that were beginning to accumulate. One of the things that we had not done was fully understand the impact with our relationship with Abbott. We began with, as I said, 6 machines in the clean room. Very quickly realized that we needed more space. We actually had an open house with the new facility. I cannot remember the date, but it was, I'm pretty sure, in June of 1976. We invited all of our shareholders, many of our vendors, people from the community, family members of people who worked there. We had a right good crowd on a Sunday afternoon. Ironically, during the process when we were wiring up the new facility, and that was done by Vic Electric, we had power on the building at some point in time, but REMC had fused that for a fairly low level, because normally there was no load when you were just doing testing and installation and that sort of thing. And on Sunday afternoon, about 30 minutes into our startup, we blew the fuse and had to call Randolph Electric to come replace the fuses, upsize them so that they would handle the load of 6 machines running inside and whatever would be added to that.